This week I'm going to show you how to make this thank you card, and it's very sparkly and fun. It has several different techniques. It's got some black glitter jewel dazzles as well as die cuts and a ribbon weaving technique, and on the inside it's got more die cuts, and this shape here is using the design toolkit number 3, which is this right here. It's kind of like a template on a keychain, and this thing comes off so you can use each of them separately. So the design toolkit number 3 plus the red velvet Artful Card Kit, which as you can see comes with a lot of things, the red velvet satin ribbons, and of course the black jewel dazzles. So let's get started. So the first thing I've done is covered my card front with this red pattern paper. Got it right out of there. And my second step is going to be shaping the front flap of my card. So I'm going to use this piece right here and going to the inside of my front flap, placing it against that part. Now I'm just going to center it right against the fold, and I'll trace it with a pencil and then just cut right around that curved edge. Now that I've got my nice shaped edge, I'm going to ink the edges of this red part right here with my black StazOn and a cosmetic sponge. Just with a short dabbing motion, getting all those edges. So I'm going to punch out this die cut right here, and to remove the nibs it says cut them off, use sandpaper, or press them with your fingernails. There is another way which I like to do, and it's just a personal preference. I like to take my knife and just slice through the nibs before I actually pop out the shape. So it's kind of just doing my work first, and then I get a nice smooth shape usually if I get all those nibs. And let's see. And there. So all my edges are pretty nib free, and if not, you can always do one of those other methods. Alright, that looks pretty good. I've also punched out this border, and the first thing I'm going to do is trim off this end. I'm just going to kind of round the edges so they look a little more natural than if I were just to cut straight. And then I'm going to place it right about there. So you can see the other end I can trim there, or if I wanted to go further, probably there. I'm going to trim right here. So measuring this piece, it's about 6 inches and 1/8. So I'm just going to round these edges, same as I did on the other side. Okay, so centering that right about there. That looks pretty good. I'm going to now thread my ribbon, green ribbon, through this entire border. So, just in and out, very simple. And it makes such a cute addition to this otherwise already, well, it's already cute, this border, but the ribbon adds a lot of flair to it. So I've trimmed my ribbon pretty close to the ends of this border, and I'm going to kind of stick them around on the back with zips. So I'm just going to cut off about 1/2 inch of the sticky strip, and I'm placing it here on the end of this die cut border, and just gonna stick that down. And once that's nice and stuck, I can then trim the excess ribbon and it'll be hidden. Now for the other side, it's just a tiny bit different. Since the ribbon ends on the outside, I'm going to again place a sticky on the end and fold that ribbon end over and onto the zip. Okay, so now I have my completed border and my card front edges all inked, and now I'm just going to glue this across the base of my front flap, just using regular glue stick. And since this has got ribbon and stuff, you'll want to make sure you have enough glue stick on there so that it'll stick securely to the front. So these die cut pieces aren't glued on yet. I've just arranged them how I want them to be placed. And some of them I'm going to glue down and some of them I'm going to foam tape just so it has some different dimensions to it. And these two pieces I'm going to just glue that down. This piece I'm going to set aside because I want a computer journal or print a greeting in the center. So I'll do that in a minute. But for now I'm just going to attach my small die cuts. So here you can see all the different levels, and that spot I just kind of tore a little bit, but I'm going to actually cover it up with these black glitter jewel dazzles, and I'm also going to add some extra ones in between the different die cuts. I like to just take my X-Acto knife and pick up my jewel dazzle, kind of placing the tip of the knife underneath it and then pressing it to the knife with my fingertip, and then just place it on the card. Simple as that. So now I've placed all my jewel dazzles where I want them, and I'm really liking how this is looking. It's got some sparkle to it with the little silver borders on those black glitter jewel dazzles. The black glitter is a very subtle shine, but it is in there. And I do like how the different levels are playing out on the die cuts. So now my next step is going to be to computer journal on this piece right here. So I've printed my greeting out on a blank piece of paper, and then I've held it up to a light source to place this in the correct centered position. And just to make sure it was centered, I traced around it with a pencil. So that's looking pretty good. My next step is to take a piece of tape, just regular Scotch tape, and to make it in a loop, and to tape this onto my paper. Okay, so now I'm going to send it through the printer the exact same way, and the thank you should print right in the center of this oval. Okay, it looks like it worked. I do want to mention that I did print it on a laser printer. These die cuts are semi-glossy, I would say, so I'm not sure how an inkjet printer would do, but I'm sure if you just let it dry a little longer, because the inkjet ink is liquid, it would probably work the same way. I do want to mention though that this sheet of labels and greetings, if you want to print on these with an inkjet printer, they would be perfectly fine, since this paper is just kind of a heavyweight regular paper with no glossy finish or anything. So that's the difference between the finishes on this regular paper and the kind of shiny. You can see that they're a little bit shiny, these die cuts. Now I'm going to foam tape my die cut right right around there, kind of in the center, and then I'm going to add some ribbon. So I've tied a small bow of black satin ribbon, and I'm going to just stick it down right about there with Zots. So I'm just going to take my bow, apply some Zots to the back of it. Make sure you got enough to secure it. And I'm going to put it right about there. And you can put the ends over or under the die cut, whatever you like. Okay, so now the front of my card is complete. Now for the inside, I'm going to cover the entire surface with this black dot paper. So I'm just going to place glue stick all over and place my paper on top of this. And just line it up. Oops. The great thing about glue stick is that it is pretty repositionable within a certain window of time here, so you can fix those little mistakes. And turn it over, and the same thing as on the front, I'm taking my metal edged ruler right against the edge of the card and using my knife to line it up. I'm just going to make one cut this way and one cut on the side. And we've got that covered. Now I'm using this pretty scalloped oval shape from the design toolkit, and I'm going to cut it out of this newsprint paper. It's really pretty texture on there. So I'm just going to go to the back and trace around it with my pencil and then cut it out. So I've glued my scalloped shape to the center of my card, and it does get covered up by the front flap, so there's no pieces peeking out on the edges. And I've also glued this die cut to the shape. Now I'm going to just foam tape my greeting, and this is coming from this sheet of greetings right here. So I just cut that out. I'm going to foam tape it right there. So now that our inside is nearly done, I'm just going to add a few of these black jewel dazzles around the edges of the scallop shape. And you do have plenty on one sheet for everything you want to do on multiple cards, because there is 540 per sheet, and they come in 3 different sizes. There's a small, medium, and large. So I think I'm going to stick with the small, maybe some medium, to go around the edges. Alright, so I've added all my jewel dazzles all around the edges, and I've also added a couple more flowers and a butterfly here, just gluing those on. So the only thing that's foam taped is my greeting. And now my card inside is done. And let's see, there's the front. I do like how this looks kind of like little bubbles in between all the little flowers and butterflies. And there's the inside. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Simply Ann, and I hope you enjoy making this card. Now, the Money Saver bundle for this week includes the Red Velvet Artful Card Kit, including 81 die cuts, 25 cutouts, and 7 custom papers. And the packaging gives you a few ideas on maybe some cards you might want to try making. And it also shows you all the elements of the Artful Card Kit. Now this one I've used, so just bear with me. These are the beautiful papers. I love the color combinations of red, black, and green. This one's a really pretty stripe, kind of incorporating all the different papers. So you get 7 pattern papers, and you'll also get this sheet of cutout greetings and labels. And it's the same weight as the paper, so these are fully printable, inkjet, laser, whatever kind of printer you have. And then you'll get 3 sheets of die cuts. And as you can see, there are holes in here because I've already used some of them. But you will, of course, get a new set. Then you're also going to get the black jewel dazzles, nice and shiny. And these are actually made of a black glitter. And it has a really subtle shine, but it also has a silver kind of outer ring on each of the little dazzles, and each sheet of these comes with 540 jewels, so you will not run out for a while at least. And you're also getting the design toolkit number 3. It comes with, I believe, 6 pieces. Yep, 6 pieces, and each piece has, except for the smallest one, each piece has an outer shape and an inner shape. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different shapes that you can use on any sort of paper or cardstock to create custom one-of-a-kind cards, whether they be shapes for the flap of the card or just on the inside or to layer. There's so many different possibilities. So I hope you take advantage of this great money saver. And I can't forget the ribbons. So you'll also get the red velvet ribbon set. These are all satin and they are 3/8 inch wide. And I believe you get 36 inches of each color. So there's red, green, black, brown, and ivory. And these match, of course, perfectly with the red velvet art kit.